everyone, welcome to part 2 of 2 on mastering Sova on Haven. If you have not checked out part 1 yet, please do head on over and check the video out for utility usage on site C and B. For this video, it will cover many unique arrows for site A that I personally use to give myself a competitive advantage, and I hope you'll find something useful. For defensive A arrows, there's not many that I know, because I don't really play A. I prefer playing off of A and then really bombarding with arrows from outside of it. So I would get into this corner right here against the wall and the barrier wall, and then at the start of the round you want to crouch and do 1 bar charge right here against this wire and this rooftop right here. So it'll land out here and it'll give you decent info of everything out here and a little bit of window right here. Let's say you're on A and you're defending it and you hear people coming up long right here and you know they're gonna push you. You're standing around here, right? As a recon dart, I would recommend landing over there, and you just step back from this wall right here and try to bounce it off of this surface right here. So it'd be 1 bounce, double charge, something like that. It'll bounce right on top right there and it'll show you everyone coming in. I like doing it this way rather than shooting it straight, just because it'd be easier for people to react to that when it's flying over their heads, and this way you could definitely peek them and get a free kill or so. There's a couple of arrows to learn on A link I'd recommend just to help you wallbang here and over there. So you want to be generally around this position, doesn't really matter. Let's say being parallel with this beam right here. Then I'm going to be lining the bottom of my charge bar with this blue line right here, like so. And then I'm going to be trying to aim right underneath this basically. So lined up like this, and it'll be 1 charge and a jump. So where that goes, it's going to land on top right here, and it's going to show you pretty much everything in here, a little bit up there and down there. So it's nice to use. And then you could definitely try to use a Odin or Ares and spray them down right here. If you don't want to use the arrow for that, you could just walk up into the wall where this faded brick is and just shoot at head level right across. It'll be the door. There's a way to get an arrow right there, and then arrows to land down here for a short. So the way I do it is getting in line with this dot on the floor right here, and you just want to crouch into it and bring your crosshair all the way down until you're over it, like so. And then the spot I'm looking at of lining up is this corner right here, this dark spot right here on this barrel, and I'm going to line up my HUD with it, so like so. And I'm going to make sure the right side of my HUD, thicker part, is a little bit, is basically on the middle, and the left part is sticking to the left of that dark spot, like so. And it's going to be double bounce and double charge for deeper in, and a no bounce and double charge for on top. So that's going to land right there. So both of these arrows are great in changing it up. If you want to have vision in here when they're walking through, you can spray them down through there. Or if you want to land an arrow down here, you can always come up into this corner and spray them down from here with Odin. So for a retake, you're rotating from another side basically. I recommend getting into the middle of this beam right here, and there's a recon dart that lands right up here from this position, and I would aim right here, this T section right here, with the bottom left of your charge bar. So it's pretty simple, just line up like that and do a full charge and land on top right there really easily, consistent. I'm gonna show you most of side at least, and that one's really nice. But there's some better ones I'd recommend doing instead. So there's this one right here. I'm aiming in this dark spot right here. I'm going to be aiming at the middle of it. It'll be a jump and no charge like that. It'll just be a click. Where that lands is right here, and it shows you pretty much the same things that arrow shows, the god arrow in a sense, but it shows you down into short A right here, someone back here, but no one against this crate right here, and it shows you all of hell as well. So I think it's a more versatile arrow, just landing right here, and it shows you all the important spots. Obviously, it doesn't really show you anyone down and long, so you can always check long. Another recon dart I might do is get into this corner instead. I'm going to be aiming right above this beam right here, somewhere around here. And then I'm going to be running forward until my crosshair hits that. Then I'm going to jump and click. It'll be like this. You're going to land right up here. It shows you someone right here, which is nice. All the way down there. And it kind of shows you everything you need to know. The only thing it doesn't show you is someone playing hell from this position. If they're playing against this wall, it will show them. So this one is nice if you want to just want to get knowledge if there's someone there basically. And deep down into short. Since once you come here, you could definitely spam this box right here. So in my opinion, this is the best recon dart for retaking A. Would be shooting it somewhere around here. So in that general area. And that one shows you everywhere basically that I would care about except back here. And it's nice to show you all of hell, so then you could spray through it from heaven. Just this floor right here, weapon Odin or Ares. If someone's behind a default box, you can always use your shock darts to really get them out of position, like so. And then you can also shoot at whoever's here. Granted, your long has to be smoked or no one has to be there. Otherwise, this is a great one. If this heaven is smoked, I think it's an advantage actually. You can walk into this beam right here, into this crevice right here. And then if you see this double arrow looking thing right here, if you just shoot to the right of it, and then you full charge it, it lands in the exact spot that you would typically want anyways. So if it's smoked right here, it's even better in my opinion, since you're kind of safe from heaven. You can arrow there, and then it gives you sight, and then you could just spray people down through the smoke. For shock darts onto sight, onto default, I recommend getting into this beam right here. And for the first one I recommend doing, this is the general one I would do. It lands in the middle default, and it's most applicable for most situations at least. I would aim underneath this light bulb with the left circle of your drone HUD, like so. This would be just one charge. And the second arrow, I'm be looking at the second beam right here. I'm trying to line the top left of my charge bar with this tip right here. So, and just be a click. So together, it looks something like this. It'll land in the center right here and shock most of default plant. So let's say they start planting elsewhere, you know, away from the center of default, maybe in this corner or in that corner. You kind of change it up depending on where you're aiming and from the same position. So use the previous one as a guide. So generally you want to put the circle of the drone right here in between these two lines right here, like so. Still one charge, and that's for the further one. The lower you aim, the further out it goes typically, and the higher you aim, the closer the arrow will land. And then for the second shot, for that arrow, I would be aiming at this jagged space right here, right there, for the top left. Be a click. So together, it'll look something like this. And then for a closer shot, I would be putting the circle of the drone to the right of the light bulb right here, like so, like right there. And then that'll be the first shot. For the second shot, I'm gonna be aiming around the fourth pole from top, from the bottom basically. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna be aiming along this rooftop right here. So it'd be top left corner like this. It'd be a click. So put it together, it'll look something like this. So that's how I would shot closer to this side. And you just want to do that throughout the round, kind of adjust depending on if they're adjusting their plant position. So the beauty of being in this position is being able to recon from this spot like I've shown you, and also starting as necessary, like so. It's really easy. I'm pretty lazy, so I kind of figured out how to shoot as many arrows from the same spot, and including this one. So you can just kind of mix them all out from the same spot. So a good place to shock darts through a volley is into this corner, since someone usually plays in this corner as well. So there's a way of doing that I kind of discovered. You can stand into this corner right here, same spot that a lot of my other arrows are, and then you could do a charge one arrow from this position if you're looking into this corner, this T section, and I'm going to line up with the inner circle of the right drone circle, basically. So the inner line, I mean, you can touch point with that and it'll be a double charge. So that's the first arrow and it should land right here. I can't quite get into that corner, but that's good enough. The second arrow, you're going to run straight from there, do double bounce and jump onto this box. Because you're going to jump onto this box at the same time, you're going to be drawing your bow into a full charge, and then you're going to try to aim at this right side of this dark brick right here. That'll land right there. So you kind of be ready to shoot both right away. So in action it looks something like this. Like that. Alright, for A offensive arrows, first, if you want to hit this long corner right here from any, snipers or anyone sitting in this corner behind here, it's a good arrow that lands up top here. That gives you some vision into heaven and even a little bit behind default box. So to do that, you get into this corner, and then you look at this bottom left flower right here. There's these 3 circles right here. I'm going to be looking at this middle one, and you're trying to put your HUD right over it. So something like this on top of it, if you see, and this will be a 1 charge. It'll land on top of there. It gets you everything here except someone in that corner, but I don't know why they would. While being up here, it gives you some vision. If someone standing here, jiggle peeking, and a little bit of heaven as well. For an arrow onto a side, you could do a god arrow from out here. So I'm basically looking at this little bump right here in the tree. It's like a little more yellow than the rest. You're going to line the edge of your HUD like so, right to the top left pixel of it. And then you'll do a double charge. And then this will land on top right here. And it'll show you pretty much most of sight. It doesn't show you anyone back down here. So you might have to clear it with a volley or anyone deep into hell. Aside from that arrow, you can hug this wall right here, and there's this crack right here in this wall. It looks like you right clicked it. So just go into that one, and then you want to aim to the right of this bright spot in the fire right here, in the middle of this beam, the slanted beam right here. So it looks like this, and it'll be double charge. This one will land in window and then show you most of sight and into heaven really well. So places you really care about is right here, there, and there, maybe even there. In terms of A arrows from long, there's a couple of them I want to show you. First one is getting into this corner on the ground floor, and this I call the dish TV arrow. You want to aim right here to the left of this line and maybe to the midpoint of this line around here. It'll be 1 charge, and it lands right on the antenna like this, which helps it look into a little bit of heaven if they're standing right here, a little bit of hell. Fortunately, it scans behind default right there and shore, and maybe even there. So it's a good one to mix in. Not the best one that covers most of sight, but a good one to know. Additionally, there's a god arrow that you could do from here on top of the sandbags. The place I'm going to be looking at would be right here. So I'm going to try to touch my HUD in the middle of this line, like so, and this would be 1 charge. So this one lands in the same place that the one in outside of A long does, and it shows you everything. It shows a little bit more of a short. The only thing it doesn't show you is deep into hell and someone hugging default box right here. So if you don't see anyone on site, it's important to clear that. You could use a volley to hit it. So I recommend lining up, standing in the same spot, and then you could line up with this with your HUD like so, I'm touching my HUD with that point right there. It'll be a double charge. Second arrow, I'm gonna be aiming in the mid between the rooftop right here and this V right here. So somewhere like this, it'll be a 1 bounce, 1 charge. So it'll look like this together. So it should clear someone standing right here, and you can push onto site. This might be the easiest and most consistent arrow to do, so I recommend doing this one most often. Just getting on top of this, anywhere in the middle, doesn't matter. And then most people just aim here and then do 1 charge, 1 jump. Try to land it, you know, somewhere in this general area, which is great. I think gets a lot of the places you care about. But there's a better place to shoot it. If anyone's hiding here, it doesn't get them typically. They're kind of watching a short. So instead, I recommend standing same place by aiming up here, midpoint of this windowsill right here. And it'll be 1 charge. It'll land up here, and it gets that person in that corner as well, in addition to everything else that arrow does at the same time. Alright, another essential volley that you should learn is shocking a long down there where someone might typically snipe. So I recommend getting to the second platform into this corner. And the first arrow would be, if you see this bridge right here between the 2 leaves, I would recommend aiming right underneath it, center of this leaf. So someone right there. This would be a double charge. And then the second one, I'm going to bring straight down until you're in the height of these 2 points right here. So what that will look like together would be like this. Charge straight down, then 1 charge. So like that, anyone standing here would probably die, as well as maybe here. And to wrap it up, we have 2 post plant arrows from A long. It's going to shock here and here. But one of them, you want to get into this corner, 1 bounce full charge into this inverted T right here, next to this mushroom. Right. The second one, you want to get into this corner, double bounce, and full charge into the middle of this dark brick right here. And that should cover you for your post plant. Alright everyone, thanks again for watching. Please like the video if you found it useful, and subscribe if you want to see more. Follow me on Insta for food related content and Twitch for gaming. This will conclude this 2-part guide. Please let me know down below if you have any other video suggestions for the future. Until then, everyone take it easy.